We don't know the actual facts of this, but given that a lot of the hostages have been placed up against the windows with their arms up, I would have imagined that if there had been any children in there, that they possibly would have been used as part of the propaganda to show this. So it's likely that it's only adults inside, but clearly we are still learning this information at the moment.
Right. In terms of who is responsible, no confirmation yet. A lot of speculation really coming from the flag that was displayed in the window. We haven't been able to see a full shot of the flag itself. It has been described as not being an IS or ISIL flag, but there is some connection to an Arabic group.
Well, the difficulty with this, as you say, is there's not been a clear picture really of exactly what this flag is. What we know at the moment is it is a black flag. It appears to have Arabic writing written on it in white, which obviously is very similar to the IS flag. But we've not been able to identify as yet exactly where that means, where it has come from. But it could be a linked group. We just don't know. It would also appear that the picture that we have of what may be the gunman inside, he appears to be wearing a bandana, similar looking, a black bandana, which also appears to have white Arabic writing on it. But again, very difficult to ascertain at this point exactly whether this does have any connection to ISIS at all or not at the moment. It's clearly causing concern because of the associations or potential associations, but unable at the moment to confirm exactly what those associations are. OK,
Jenna, we're just going to cut in and listen to further description coming in from the Channel 9 news station within Australia itself. They have a reporter on the scene too.
Around the world, but is linked to all of them. If the reporting is correct, and what we understand of this flag, it is very simple, yet it is also very ominous in this situation. We understand that it's the Shahada. This is the three simple phrases written in Arabic that are at the very heart of Islamic belief. It's the very tenet of Islam. And to paraphrase in English, and apologies to anyone if I don't get this correct, as I understand that what the Shahada says is that there is only one God, that God is Allah, and the Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. Now, this is the very first thing that any Muslim says. It's said in every prayer that they make. And in recent terror operations we saw in Africa, with a bus and at a mine, people were pulled aside, and those who could not recite the Shahada were executed. So what I would take it is that if the reporting of this flag is correct and it's the Shahada, it's a statement of some kind of Islamic militant intent, and that it's not associating the perpetrators of this siege with any one particular group, but I'm afraid it does make their intentions potentially clear. Davina?
Hey, Michael, it's Neil Breen in the studio here. We're dealing with a situation here. The vision we've seen of the one perpetrator we've seen, it seems to be an older fellow, seems to be approaching about 50. That's different from the profile we've seen of the young men, particularly the young men from Western Sydney who've travelled from here to Syria to join ISIL. Is there anything we can read into that this fellow is older than those young men?
Well, I mean, we can obviously use that as a launchpad for all sorts of speculation, but the one thing I will say is that Islamic militancy, this kind of Islamic fanaticism for terror, spans all age groups. So the fact that it's not some young Muslim kid who's been fired up at a mosque and is perhaps someone much older, I mean, that really isn't going to...
All right, we're going to speak